Namaste, angels. This is the weekly love reading for the period of Sunday, the 12th through Saturday to come, the 18th. The 12th is the day that Mercury goes direct, as a reminder to everybody. So a day we're all looking forward to. As of the 13th, Mercury will have gone direct, and you should feel any restrictive energy freeing up, although it will remain in shadow for about another week or two. Going to the dice, we're beginning with 29, spiritual partnership. It's 50-50 and massage. It's 50-50, can be about balance, can be about give and take, literally splitting something down the middle, like bills and stuff. Or like something can go either way, pro, con, up, down. Spirit says party. Sex. And forget it. The cards are beginning with the Ace of Winter, Ace of Swords. Implementation of your brilliant new idea may get off to a rocky start, but keep going. The challenges will help you to refine your plan and to reshape your goals into something even better. Ace of Swords is a card of victory and getting to the truth of the matter, taking that sword and cutting right straight through any crap or bullshit to get down to the truth of the matter. So it could be about truth coming out. Also, coming into a place of clarity and understanding, and victory, because it's often on the heels of some sort of difficulty, which the cards are indicating right here. The next upright card is, the next and last upright card here is the 10 of Winter Swords, immediately behind the Ace. The end of a career path, project, or relationship brings feelings of mixed joy and sadness, relief and disappointment. Put aside your fears about these changes and trust that a brighter future awaits. So it's coming up in the love reading. Some sort of relationship may have just ended, or one or both parties, one or more parties, because sometimes we got parties of three, right? Maybe dealing with something as an individual this week that is affecting their relationships as well. With the Rider-Waite deck, we're beginning with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, which can mean that one or more or both parties in a relationship are sort of feeling like over the relationship or kind of bored with it. And a way to fix this or deal with it is through communication and talking. So maybe because of Mercury retrograde, we got the air here and we got the earth. So, Mercury is a ruler of both Gemini and Virgo. So maybe that's why the earth turns upside down, because Mercury is still currently in retrograde. That's possible. Or it's reflective of the way things have been. Maybe Mercury retrograde is what has made your communication difficult. It doesn't have to be your communication, just maybe lacking or difficult anyway, separate and apart from Mercury retrograde. Whatever the case, you're not a mind reader, your partner's not a mind reader, so if either one of you has something to say, best that you say it. The King of Swords, Queen of Swords, Ace of Swords, again, cut through any BS. We say what we mean what we say, and speak up. So that's what you're being called to do as well, regardless of whether you are of the air element or not. And you got to ask for what you need. You might get it, or you may learn you're not going to get it, in which case it might be time for you to keep it moving, keep it pushing, as they say. If you're looking for love and you're single, then this might not be the week where you meet Prince Charming or whatever, Princess Charming. It's not the week to settle down. It's a good week to get a better perspective on your partner or potential partners and learn some things up front, again, through communication. And if you're just looking for fun and a good time right now, then that can work. We just saw sex in the dice and party and all that kind of stuff. Go for it. Allow yourself to have fun, but be honest with the people that you're dealing with. And remember that nobody can make your life, complete or exciting or whatever. Nobody can make your life anything. You have to do it. You have to do that if it's going to be done. think like the general, I'll go ahead and use the stands for this portion of the reading. So let me grab those. And fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Your card is the Queen of Cups. Wasn't your card last week the Knight of Cups? So this is a nice progression for you in terms of love. Earth signs, your card is the Five of Cups. And I think this, although this is not like the best card for love, I think this is a nice progression for you too. Because didn't you start with the Three of Swords, and in the following week, which was last week, you had the Tower in reverse, and now the Five of Cups. So it's like the energy is getting better and better and back to normal from where it came. Air signs. Our card is the Three of Pentacles. Also upright. Should I put these down lower so we can see the numbers? Can you see the numbers now? Still can't. What about now? Okay. And lastly, water signs, your card is the Sun in reverse. The only one to get a reverse card. And I'll put the deck back here so we can all be reminded of what the overall energy is. Again, it is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So the Queen of Cups is a super positive card in the area of love, of course. Very positive in terms of any outlook. You know, even if you're single, you know, your prospects are good, and you still feel very positive and very emotionally strong and healthy and balanced. And if you are single and looking, she's a good sign that you need to get out and start, you know, mingling to the extent that you're able. I know a lot of areas around the world, mostly the United States, still experiencing COVID upticks and things like that, particularly certain states, Arizona, Texas, Florida. And so maybe you won't be able to do so there, but perhaps something online if you can't in person date, or, you know, getting to know somebody or something like that over the, you know, on the net. It's easy to be like to OD and to be extra and to sort of like get carried away with love when she shows up too. So it's important to keep, you know, like a balanced perspective and balanced energy. And even with the excitement that a new relationship, a new love can bring, it's still going to be important for you to, I'm not saying like hold your feelings back or hold yourself back when you're feeling like, you know, you're really in love or whatever, but to sort of like try to temper yourself, make sure that you alone aren't getting overly taken with the situation, or maybe just with the idea of love, and make sure that you don't lose track of other things that are going on in your life, and maybe allow important things and priorities to fall by the wayside because you just too caught up with relationship. Be careful of that. But other than that, have fun, be happy. Congratulations to anybody that is in a new relationship. Good for you. I hope it turns out to be all that you want it to be. Earth signs: Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So like I was saying, over the past 2 weeks, you guys have had some pretty, in terms of love, down and out kind of cards, beginning with the Three of Swords, which can be about breakup and separation or hurt, pain that we cause each other and things like that. And then we moved on to the Tower in reverse, which is far better than the Tower upright, but still in as it relates to love, not necessarily the best card in the deck to get. So again, my opinion, the Five of Cups is a step up from that. However, it can still be an indication that a relationship may have just ended or may be like about to end, in the process of ending. You may be realizing that all is not necessarily lost, and you're probably not ready to move on to a new relationship or even to leave this one. So there's going to be some needing to sort of just self-assess and review and figure out what's going on. And it may be the masculine earth signs who are feeling this the strongest, because in the general reading, I had talked about the number 5, and then sure enough, a bunch of 5s showed up on the masculine side only. And so some of you could be dealing with, maybe you ended a relationship and now you're having second thoughts about whether or not you should have, or you set something in motion that you feel you can't reverse. But if you're hoping that all is not lost, then that's something that you need to communicate to and see if you're able to save it. If the other party is interested in saving it, you may just need to give, yourself and the other party some time, some space, and then you can get, back to where you were, or successfully move on and cut the cord if that's what you're wanting to do. There also will come a time when you realize that the relationship ended because it was to get you to another place. So even in some cases, a relationship ends and it comes back together, like down the line. You still need to experience something first where I don't know, that it puts you in the right place, and lessons that you need to learn are learned. I'm trying to think of an example as I talk to you about this, where people have parted and then come back together. I was going to say I can't really think of anybody, but today or this week we do have all this JADA and August Alsina stuff going on, right? And Will. So like a party of 3. JADA and August are both Virgos, so that is that earth energy. And according to what I read from him, he was the one who left her alone. From her too, she mentioned it in the Red Table Talk, that he had left her alone, and she sort of allowed him and gave him the space. So that sort of thing, giving yourself time and space for something to end, and then in the same token, her and Will, who have been separated according to them, being able to come back together. So at one point, it seemed to them, according to them in their interview, their own Red Table Talk, right, that the relationship was over. Will said, "I was done with you." That's like a quote from him. She nodded. She said yes. They laughed about it and stuff like that. They weren't necessarily expecting to get back together, so they had to experience this thing and learn some lessons, particularly her, right, particularly the Earth sign. And now they're able to come back together. They say that they're partners for life. Good, bad, or indifferent, I guess. They don't plan on divorcing, right? So even if your relationship, you're finding that it's one of the ones that seems to be coming to an end or that recently ended, doesn't necessarily mean, even for you, that your relationship is over. It's being pulled apart, though, by the universe for some sort of reason, and you'll sooner or later there will come a day where you'll come to understand what that reason was or is, and what the lesson involved is as well. And either come back together with this person or get another relationship that is better fitting for you, something that really, really works for you and is going to be healthy. Air signs. I don't know why I keep getting stuck with the air signs. That's why I stuck my own energy, right? As a Gemini sun, Aquarius moon. That's totally my own energy. For us, the 3 of Pentacles is a very good omen in terms of love, especially if you already have somebody in whom you're interested, or if somebody is already interested in you. It can mean that the person who holds the interest sees the other in a very positive light, holds them in like high esteem, and as somebody who has the qualities that they're looking for. So even if love hasn't necessarily developed yet, and it's just sort of like giving each other the eye and thinking about it, or trying to talk, exchanging numbers and all that kind of stuff. there's already a sense and a feeling of this person. This person is, the kind of quality that I'm seeking. And there's just a need for patience, similar to like with the Three of Wands. With the energy of three, there can be a need for patience because you're creating something. Threes are about creation. You're building something. It's not going to be like overnight, but something very good is coming. If you're single and don't have somebody already in mind, not aware of somebody having you in mind and all that kind of stuff, you're just looking for love, it's very possible that you'll meet somebody through work, your own work or through theirs. And you should just keep your eyes open, and if you're down for something like that. And when I say through work, it doesn't even have to necessarily be a co-worker, right? It could be you work in some sort of sales and it's a customer or a client, a vendor or something through work is very likely. This doesn't have to be. Now, of course, alternatively, or on another note, threes in terms of the tarot and love can be representative of parties of three, which I just mentioned. Maybe again, parties of three involving an earth sign, maybe. And speaking of Will, Jada, and August, and this being the air sign placement, but maybe involving an earth energy in this party of three, I'm pretty sure Will Smith is a Libra, and you can look it up. But I believe he is an air sign, so this would totally apply to them. But apparently some others are going through similar situations, or at least that's what I'm picking up here. So we're going to move on to the water signs. Your card is the Sun in reverse, and people can need space. Like the Sun is a really positive card, and we love to see it show up in any placement in your reading. But one of the things that it can really mean, which some people can be surprised of sometimes in love, is that you may need to take some space from each other. You might need some alone time. And that doesn't even mean like, oh, we got to break up or we got to go on a break. I mean, that doesn't even mean that. It just can mean you need some space from each other. Maybe. I hate to use another Jada thing, but she was in that movie Girls Trip. Maybe you need to go on a girls trip. My girlfriend just asked me to go to Puerto Rico, friend of mine. Yeah, but maybe you just need to go on a girls trip, or maybe you just need to get away for a day. Like, I'm going to go down to the park and, get my head right or whatever. Find read a book. I need some peace of mind, some space, I need to be alone for an hour or two. It doesn't just because you need time to yourself, well, there's no need, or your mate says they need time to themselves. There's not necessarily need for panic. Like, oh no, we can come apart to nurture ourselves as individuals. Not only can we should to come apart to nurture ourselves as individuals. It's super important. If you're looking for love, then there's something very promising for you with the Sun. And you may meet somebody while you're out and about, maybe in the sun, getting some sun, or on vacation or something like that. Maybe in the, where there's a sunny climate right now, or perhaps something tropical. And you'll need a sunny disposition to do it. You need to, make sure your attitude is right and you're feeling, confident about yourself, and, your esteem is balanced. So you feel good about yourself. And the reason that's so important, or it's just important, period. I'm sure you guys know that. But one of the reasons why it's so important, in particular when it shows up like this in a love placement or love reading, is that you want to make sure that you're not just accepting any old, love interest or lover that comes your way that shows you interest. That you're being patient enough to. And picky enough to only accept like what you deserve or what you feel you deserve. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not saying like to be uppity and like you're better than everybody, but if you're if you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, or if you're being fair to yourself. So that's another thing that the Sun can be about too. Also, I don't want to say on a negative note, but just as a warning, one of the things that the Sun can warn about too for people that are already, committed in some way, is that one or both or more parties may sort of be taking the other party or parties for granted, and maybe the relationship itself for granted. And so that's something that you're going to want to change or fix soon too, perhaps through communication as well. Let me pull one of these manifest soulmate oracle cards for each element too. Beginning with this one, you are on your way to meeting your true love. And opening to sometimes the strongest people in the morning are the people who cried all night. I'll do 3 of these. So that. Don't be afraid of losing someone who doesn't want you. And you are spiritually connected to those you love. So for the fire signs, your soulmate, manifest soulmate oracle card is follow your heart's desires and manifest the heck out of your life. And this, with the Queen of Cups being a card that is very much about the heart and emotions and love, I think that's super appropriate for you guys. Earth signs to go along with your 5 of Cups. And look, a tree. How earth is that, right? This is very much like your element. Never make permanent decisions on temporary feelings. Sort of goes right along with that scenario of the side dude or chick. Temporary feelings. It's just a short-term sort of thing. Air signs to go along with our 3 of Pentacles, which is a good omen. The reason it hurts so much to separate is because our souls are connected. This, if you haven't met somebody yet, and again, you're in the market to meet somebody, or if you have that person that you recently met, that you haven't reached the love stage yet, but you're feeling something special about them. Or for those who are totally committed and maybe instead be moving to the next level of commitment with this 3 of Pentacles, could very possibly be a soulmate relationship, a divine union, a twin flame relationship that you're dealing with there, that you encounter. And lastly, for the water signs to go along with your sun, how nice is this? A rainbow to accompany the sun. And your card says, and where does the power come from? It comes from within. I'm just thinking about how powerful the sun is. You may come into some inner knowing. The sun is also about clarity for me, and I'm just getting like, where's the power come from? It comes from within. From within, maybe intuitively, your gut feelings, something. You're going to come into some sort of clarity or information this week with regard to your love life. And now I'd like to do the spread from the masculine perspective. With the other deck. Anybody interested in these cards? They are called, again, Manifest Soulmate Oracle. Two cards just fell out as I picked up the Rider-Waite deck. Here's Major Arcana card, Death. Something coming to a complete end. Never going to be the same way, exist in the same way that it did before. Which can be scary to some people when they think about it, probably because they're in the place of fear, because it can also, that can be super positive. Like, what if it's a negative experience, right? And it's never going to exist that way anymore. It's going to be positive from here on out, this new path that you're walking. So some sort of ending is giving way to a new beginning. And it could be a very spiritual transformation. This some sort of like officiate here. Something will never exist, and it may involve again perhaps an earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. The King of Pentacles on his own is super generous and a very positive omen in terms of love. He is, knowledgeable and trustworthy and probably older than you, but somebody that, on whom you can depend. Like how earth signs are, typically dependable and practical and grounded and committed and dedicated once they give themselves to something, and you can count on them to see it through. It's that type of person. Another possible meeting is maybe a Scorpio, which Major Arcana card Death represents, having some sort of situation or relationship to begin or to strengthen with an earth sign. Or for somebody that this could be a message about somebody that has both of these energies, like a Scorpio with a, an earth sign, moon or rising. And this can also be about, I'm just getting a few things here, the fact that Pluto is currently retrograde in Capricorn, and how that's affecting love lives and maybe somebody in particular who's watching. So the spread from the masculine, we already looked at the upright cards here and got messages from the Ace of Swords and the Ten of Swords. So let's see what else wants to come out. And actually, I was going to say, were those there? And I'll move them around in case they want to pop back up. Cool. It is the Six of Air, Six of Swords. Things are looking up. It's the end of a difficult situation. You may even be taking a trip. Again, this may be connected to Mercury retrograde and the fact that Mercury is going direct, and that may be freeing up some energies that were tense. Me and man that I was involved with, we would separate, break up every time Mercury went retrograde. Something would happen. It was like clockwork. And sometimes I wouldn't realize, and I'd be like, oh, is Mercury retrograde? And sure enough, it is. So I know we weren't alone. There could other people experiencing things like that, but things are getting better now, probably because on Sunday, Mercury does go direct. And speaking of Mercury, this card for me, the next card, it is upside down, but I'll go ahead and mention, because this card for me, in this deck in particular, the Angel Tarot, has always felt like Mercury. And I probably say, well, what does Mercury feel like? I can't explain it, but it's always felt like planet Mercury for me, and therefore has represented for me in this deck in particular the signs of Virgo and Gemini, which Mercury rules. But it is otherwise Major Arcana card 0, the Fool, which when in reverse can mean that a person is not necessarily ready to give up their freedom and independence for love, or their freedom and independence that they're used to may be causing them to still behave like they're single when they're supposed to be in a relationship, or they're trying to get into a relationship. And of course it can cause a problem, because if the other person that you're dealing with is like, well, you're acting single, or you don't seem like you really want to be in a relationship, it can be problematic. So that could be a message for somebody. But other than that, overall, things are looking up. We may even be taking a trip. That can be literal. Somebody could be traveling, maybe traveling to visit one another and things like that. So we'll get into the spread, beginning with the Divine Feminine, and it is another King of Pentacles. Remember, one just jumped out of the Rider-Waite deck as I was trying to pick it up. So here's another: compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. Everything's going to turn out great. Projects will be stunningly successful. Exciting new career opportunities are possible, and money or resources that come your way will be invested wisely. The masculine as it relates to the feminine, it is the Six of Cups. The love and care of children could become an important part of your life, or people from your childhood may return to it. Old memories can be healed, or possibly old childhood dreams are ready to be revived. So something or someone from your past could very well be returning to you, or something could be coming up that you're nostalgic about, that is tied to your love life this week. Maybe an ex is returning that happens to be an earth sign, or maybe that's what you're hoping for, feminine. And again, if that's the case, he is probably very well to do, or established, security. He's a provider type. He's generous. And you can trust him, even if you've had encounters in the past where, you guys had a difference. Let's put it that way. This energy here is very trustworthy and genuine, and again, dependable. Could very well be from your past. For everyone else, this could very well be representing your own energy and the space where you are right now, and either looking back on your past, or still somebody or something from the past returning to it and being very significant to you this week. The masculine as it relates to himself, the Seven of Cups. It's time to stop procrastinating and to make a decision so that you can move forward with a priority. If you need to do more research, then do so, but don't overthink the situation. Listen to your heart. Well, this is interesting because in the general reading, it was the fire signs in particular, I believe, who had the Major Arcana card 12, the Hangman. So that card represents the planet Neptune in the sign of Pisces, which it rules. The Seven of Cups for me, in the way that I read, also represents the planet Neptune in the sign of Pisces, even though it's not a court card. It's just very dreamy, and with the goals and the fantasies and the need to make a decision, but our heads in the clouds and all that. It's all very Neptunian and Pisces for me. So the people that got the Hangman, what I told them was that they had to make some sort of decision, and it was like a yes or no decision, yes or no, up or down, pro or con. Like there's no like in between. You want to make a very definitive decision, and it looks like the masculine is being asked to do that too, in this or of this same energy, right? With this same Piscean energy going. So it's like choosing one goal to prioritize, a goal, a relationship, or something. You got plenty of options, but we're going to pinpoint something. The masculine as it relates to the union or connection as a whole this week, and it is more water or cups energy, but this time going back to that Scorpio feel with Major Arcana card 20, renewal or judgment. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and to make changes so that you're on the path most divinely suited to you. Forgive what has been without judgment. So maybe connected to like the die that said, forget it, like letting something go, forget it, forgive what has been without judgment. No need to hold on to that. No need to keep trying to, apply blame or guilt or whatever. And fearlessly embrace what's to come, looking positively toward your future, expecting it to be better. We've been told it's going to be better, looking forward to it being better and embracing it. Major Arcana card 20, Judgment, in terms of relationships, can be about a crossroad that we're coming to, and we're going to decide, like, where do we go from here, if anywhere? And it's a very positive card. So even if we say, oh, we decide to part ways, even that would be from a very positive standpoint. But more likely, this is people coming together. This is, again, a choice being made, deciding I don't want all these other options. I'm narrowing something down. I'm going to get focused. And you can trust me. This is genuine. Very possibly, again, someone from your past or a soulmate in general, even if you've never met them before. The Six of Cups can definitely be representative of soulmates. Judgment, also a card about second chances or second time around. So that connects to soulmates and things as well, like from the past, or exes rather, from the past. Maybe something didn't work out previously, but it can now. Or maybe, again, we were a couple, we needed to take a break. Now we can come back together. Or, we were friends before, but now we're going to try this love thing. We can see how that goes. That's a possibility also. Second chances, second time around. Also abundance that is earned. So you are being blessed with some sort of increase, and even ascension can be part of this. Like, so spiritual, increased spiritual awareness, psychic awareness, increased ascension in that sense. To transcend even beyond something. So that could be tied to forget it. And that's the universe paying you off. So it's like you've earned it, whether on this plane or through your karma or something. And it's the universe or God that is paying you, in which case you sort of get it double, because you get whatever comes energetically through spirit, and then also as above, so below. So to also manifest down here in terms of you being awarded some sort of gift or recognition or something that you earned, some sort of payment, reward. Crowning, or overall, we have another 2 in the element of water, because this Judgment, again, most directly represents the planet Pluto in the sign of Scorpio, which it rules. So it's Major Arcana card 20, so it's like a 2 of Cups, and this 2 is the 2 of Cups, or this is the actual 2 of Cups. You're falling in love or experiencing a deepening of emotion in your current relationship. Marriages or romantic partnerships in distress can still be saved as well. Don't give up. So again, that's befitting of the scenario that I went over. What energy the masculine would have the feminine give to the union or connection this week, if it's up to him, and that is the Hermit. I want you to go within and think about it, or maybe, come to some clarity, come to some understanding, or help him to come to some clarity or understanding. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. The Hermit is most directly representative of the sign of Virgo. So it connects with this earth energy, and again, also fits with my scenario, again, with both Jada and August being Virgo. So that's interesting. What energy the masculine himself willing or planning to give to the union or connection this week? And it is the Queen of Air, the Queen of Swords. She is independence, experience, realistic and witty, objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, and seeing the humor in a situation. So his will's energy again. Remember I said he is a Libra, as far as I recall. Of course, the Queen of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. She is the queen of removing things from her life that don't fit, even like emotions and stuff like that. So we don't like harbor grudges and hold on to negative emotions. We're in something or we're not in something, and there's no in between. So it's kind of like that yes or no, up or down sort of decision. And again, if that's what the masculine is going to be doing with this 7 of Summer, which is a very Hangman, or again Neptunian or Piscean energy, the Queen of Air energy can help him with that, to cut away what he's decided is not for him and be done with it, right? Because we're very good at that. Queen of Swords is very good at that. I see we're a little bit out of frame, so let's try that. Okay. Is that better? Yes. What energy the universe would have each archetype or both archetypes to give to the union or connection this week, and even wants to help us with, but we have to first affirm because we have free will. And that is the 9 of Earth, enjoying life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, and successful self-employment. So that's kind of like, I mean, this is kind of like a 9 of Pentacles too, right? The Hermit, because Major Arcana card 9, and it's representative of Virgo energy. So it's like a 9 of Pentacles. And then here's another 9 of Pentacles. This one, although it looks like it's about a single woman, and sometimes it is in my readings, like I can use this to be representative of single people energy. It's also a very good omen for couples, and again tied to holding each other in very high regard and high esteem, and being ready for a relationship that is mutually respectful and reciprocal in terms of love and respect, and nurturing and caring, and it's just, you know, super positive. So whether you're single or whether you're coupled, or whether you're single or coupled, at the end of the week, the universe wants to help you to feel good about yourself and or your relationship. And the outcome, it's the 8 of work, 8 of Earth, 8 of Pentacles. Where we put our effort is from where we're going to get our outcome, right? This is a card of reaping what you've sown. So you do the work, you're going to get the results, is what it's saying. We're going to get paid. Remember I talked about judgment is about like payment. Skilled work is rewarded. Learning all there is to know about a topic, and maybe even going back to school. So this, I feel, is like not a delayed gratification. This, you put the work in this week, there's work to be done, and you are going to see the reward of that. Further advice to each archetype from each deck I want to do. Let's do the soulmate oracle too. Let's do that. Put them back in the box. And I still have the ones that we used out of the box, so they won't be repeated. This will be new messages, because I still have the others that's still in the stand. So this time we're beginning with, I have found the one that my soul loves. Life is tough, but so are you. So for those dealing with some sort of difficulty. Never give up on something that you really want. That's about manifestation, holding a positive and focused intention on it so that you can bring it towards you. And you will meet your soulmate when the time is right. So, further advice to the masculine from this deck, right? This is for all of you, the collective masculine. Take a leap of faith into the unknown. Wasn't this just the heart of the matter? The leap of faith, the Fool card upright, the heart of the matter of our last spread. So I think this is really awesome. Was that that must have been the general reading. Yes. The Fool's at the heart of the matter, just so you guys know. If you haven't seen it already. And it was guiding not just the masculine, but the feminine too, of course, to take a leap of faith into the unknown. Here's another confirmation of the need to do that from the masculine perspective, specifically as it relates to love And for the feminine, sometimes the strongest people in the morning are the people who cried all night. So this is about maybe dealing with your emotions. Could be tied to the energy of introspection with Major Arcana card, the Hermit, going within and coming out stronger for it. Animal Tarot to the masculine. Major Arcana card 8, Justice. You know what sign this represents? This is hilarious. I think I just did like Will and Jada's reading. You know what sign this represents? Libra. Oh man. Fair decisions will be made after all of the evidence is reviewed impartially. Have compassion for others and try to see all sides of a disagreement. 8s are about karma and karmic lessons and dealing with things from that perspective. Also, Justice or Major Arcana card Justice is about balance, the scales being balanced. So give and take, 50-50. And yeah, considering things fairly. So if you're coming into clarity, getting information, reviewing it, thinking about it in a fair way, you have to make a decision. You're weighing the pros and cons, right? In a fair and honest way. Feminine. It's the Queen of Autumn, Queen of Pentacles, thoughtful, caring, creative, and ingenious. You'll be given advice that's both practical and creative, and it should be followed precisely. Focus only upon the positive in every situation or person. The Queen of Autumn, like the King, so this is just another confirmation of the fact that this is a love reading. If I wasn't making it one, the universe was going to go ahead and make it one. She is a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Could be Venus herself, really. From the Angel Tarot to the masculine, the Four of Water, Four of Cups, missing an opportunity, discontentment or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. I think that this was the masculine's advice card in the general reading as well. You guys are probably going to, want to watch both readings. That's my suggestion. And it was about if you don't take the leap of faith, or if you're like unwilling to take the leap of faith, then obviously, or take risks, put yourself out there, then obviously you're going to cost yourself an opportunity, in this case, in love, and something, really could really real, true love, again, reciprocal love, mutual respect, mutual adoration. And lastly, for the feminine, this is a card of commitment, entering commitment, deepening of commitment, or being just happy to be single too. It's about contentment, just being happy in your own skin, in your own home, and with your surroundings and your household and your family. Contentment, peace, and abundance. A happy home life and the successful completion of a project. Hope you guys have enjoyed the love reading. I'll be back with other stuff soon. Namaste. If you like the video, please actually like the video by giving it a thumbs up, sharing, commenting, subscribing if you're not yet a subscriber by hitting both the bell button and the subscribe button. It's weird. Last week's readings did better than they had been doing over the past couple months when the views just dropped really low. Just weird crap with YouTube I've been experiencing a long time, but just over the past couple of months it had been at its worst. And so two of the videos, it was the moon reading, which still applies, by the way, until the next moon transit, major moon transit, which is the 20th. So that reading is still in effect. But it was that reading, and it was the general reading that each got like 1,600 views, and the love reading, which everyone who watched seemed to love, had a lot of likes and stuff, but as compared to the number of people who had watched it, but very few people watched it, maybe like 200. So I don't know how to get a hold of that. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it. It's just like if I get lucky and the video gets out there on YouTube, falls into the feed where people can see it, then I'll do all right. People watch and I do all right. And if it doesn't, then I don't. And I don't know how to control it. But apparently, or at least according to them, you guys can help me with the likes, the shares, the comments, subscriptions, all that stuff. So I appreciate whatever you do. And if you don't do any of that, but you watched, thank you for that. Namaste.